Okay, I stole this from the Art podcast. We're ranking awkward social situations. Awkward situations. I added a few of my own, but I'm taking their list as a base. I watched them do it. It took about 2 hours. I don't have anybody. I mean, I'll be talking to you guys, and I'll be listening to your opinions, but I don't have anybody to directly discuss anything with. So yeah, should probably be faster on my end. Boom, there we have it. Number one, sitting in front of a camera, someone breaks into your house. If you know, you know. What? Is somebody gonna break into my house? Should I be scared? You know what? I'll have to say I don't know. I do not know. All right, let me get centered. All right. Okay. Let me go over the list first. We don't have your traditional tiers. They're kind of ordered from worst to best, which is the inverse of a regular tier list. The categories are rows. At number 1, we have Endless Haunting. This is the sort of thing that keeps you up at night. This is the stuff you think about before you go to sleep. It sticks with you years after it's already happened. It is something that endlessly haunts you. Pretty self-explanatory. We might have to add some more awkward situations, because fumbling your speech, or like, voice crack would be a good one. I mean, I guess it's like, it's not just embarrassing stuff, right? A lot of awkward stuff is embarrassing, but we're looking for awkward situations. Smooth off is the sort of awkward thing where in the moment death is a alternative that you would be wishing for. It seems pleasant when contrasted with whatever you're going through. So that's smooth off. It's like, I would rather die on the spot than live through this right now. Good morning, Gaba. Well, good morning. Well, whatever. Day ruiner. This is like Endless Haunting, but after the day's over, you never think about it again. It sticks with you for the remainder of the day, but after you go to sleep and you wake up, you never think of it again. I mean, when you're trying to sleep, but your brain keeps reminding you of embarrassing moments while you're trying to... Yeah, exactly. That's like the Endless Haunting category. Okay. NBD stands for no big deal. It's like, it's just something you're like, this is a little awkward, and then the next moment it's out of your brain. Not a big deal. And then finally we have low-key a good thing. The sort of awkward situation that you think might be actually kind of a good thing. Also, I'm turning on the stream playlist. We're gonna have to see about the mix. You're gonna have to tell me if you want it quieter or louder. Also, we gotta overhaul the playlist at some point. I think it could be a fun stream. Anyway, I think we're just going in order that these are in, which means my self-insert stuff is gonna be all the way at the end. We're starting with U2. I mean, this is a classic. This is probably not just an English language thing. I think this happens everywhere. You're like about to get on a flight or something, or the waiter brings you your meal and he says, or they say something to the effect of, enjoy your food. And you're like, because it's a hardwired response, we've been baked into us when somebody shows us any sort of pleasantry or kindness, we say, you too, even though they're not having any food, they're not getting on any plane. I think this is no big deal. It might also be low-key a good thing. There's this comic where there's an alien pretending to be a human, and then they get served food at a restaurant. The waiter says, enjoy your food, and the alien says, you too. And it's like, oh, my disguise is ruined. That doesn't make any sense. Nobody would ever say anything like that. And then everybody starts applauding and gives them the most human award. Because it is very human. It's something that I think is pretty universal. I think everyone has done it at some point. It's something I've definitely done and I'm sure of, and it's just really no big deal at all. It might almost be a good thing, because it's like, haha, silly me. It's like, you know, that sort of situation. I don't think it's bad at all. I think it's like either NBD or low-key a good thing. Our farm too hard. I've never said you two in a conversation. No way. No way. You're putting on airs. You're lying to me, Cephajorf. Anyway, I'm gonna put it in NBD for now. Goodbye into the same direction walk. Kinda sorta happened like a few days ago. Said goodbye to some family members, and then when they were like, we got in the car and they were walking to their car, we were like driving in the same direction as they were walking, and then we like rolled down the window like, oh. I work in customer service. I'm normally making the person say it. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I did not. A lot of these have a player 1 and a player 2 to get both of the perspectives, but this is not one of them. This is like one-sided. Cause I don't know. Cause if it happens to you, you're probably also like, it's no big deal. You don't feel awkward if you're the one that gets said you too. I'm guessing at least. Okay, goodbye into the same direction. It's like pretty awkward, but it's also very light-hearted, where you're like, oh, guess we're going the same way. Isn't that crazy? Ha ha ha. It's like also goes into the direction of no big deal or low-key a good thing. I think if and this kind of applies to a lot of these, if you know the person decently well, it's like, oh, crazy, we're going in the same direction. If you don't know them that well, I think it's more awkward, and it gets further up there, but I think this is probably NBD as well, or maybe low-key a good thing. And I'm going to say and you, but normally people are saying enjoy your evening to me, so like, I never had that incident because I never tell my customers to enjoy their food. You tell them to choke on it. I don't know. You probably don't. I'm putting this in NBD as well. Calling the teacher mom. This is a classic. I'm actually unsure of if I've ever done it or not. A classmate of mine did it in elementary school, and it's stuck with me till this day. I still remember it. So that's what makes me think I haven't done it, because otherwise I think I would have had it burned into my brain, or maybe I just suppressed it. But I think the later on this happens, the worse it gets, because I think in elementary school it's like whatever, right? But if you get up there in age, like imagine doing that at university or in high school, that would be... So I think the bar is a lot higher for this one. I think it could definitely be endless haunting, because if I remember it happening to a classmate, it must be like even worse if you're like living through it yourself. I did it once in math class during year 10, but I think nobody in my class heard me, and it haunted me, but nobody knew. Teaspoon of gunpowder? Yeah, it's the stream playlist. It's in there. Am I a bit dim? Not like intellect-wise, but in terms of the camera. I think it's fine. Yeah, I think I'm putting this in endless haunting. It's just the sort of thing that sticks with you. Thought you were alone singing. So this is very much, it depends on who's catching you singing. Because if I'm at home singing and like there's a family member that like walks in on me singing, nobody cares. Okay? I don't care, they don't care. But like, let's say it's my brother's girlfriend. Do I feel self-conscious? It also depends what I'm singing, of course. It depends on what I'm singing. So it depends what you're singing and who's catching you. The real thing where this will happen is I'm outside singing, like on our property still, and then like the neighbors like come up the stairs or something like that. And then it's like, do you keep singing or do you get real quiet all of a sudden? And that's where I feel pretty awkward. Is it a day ruiner? Dude, I don't know if it's a day ruiner. I think... But it's worse than no big deal. I also think I'm quite good at singing, but I still get self-conscious about it. Can't be awkward if you log in and keep singing. I think most situations are techable. Like if you play it off, if you play it cool, you can escape almost any awkward situation. That just requires a lot of confidence. Hello, the mask bad. Hello, Waluigi. I guess, and it can't be a day ruiner for me because it just doesn't stick with me like that. So I'm guessing we're putting it in NBD as well. Awkward situations are afraid of me. The wave behind. So this is you're waving at somebody, or somebody waves at you. That's what you're thinking, at least. We're gonna take this from the, let's call this the player one perspective, where this is happening to you. You think somebody's waving at you, you wave back, or you say hi or whatever, and then you realize they were actually waving at somebody else. I don't have any distinct memory of this happening to me, but I know it must have happened at some point. And that is that one, I mean, that's gotta be day ruiner minimum. I don't know if it's smooth off, because it's pretty slow, and it's not, I don't think it's a huge deal, but it is pretty embarrassing. It's pretty awkward, I have to say. And then there's the, I added this on, this wasn't in the initial tier list, which is the player 2 version, where you're the one waving, and somebody mistakenly thinks they're waving at you when you're waving at someone else. I think this is almost the same severity. I don't think it's, like, smooth off. I don't think it's super bad, but I still think it's quite bad. I don't know which one I would rather be. I think when you're the person that thinks they're getting waved at, but you were not actually addressed, I think you're kind of getting owned. Where if you're the waver, not the wavee, you're owning the other person, even if you don't want to, and it like kind of sucks for you as well. But you're like the popular person in that situation. It's like, oh, actually, I didn't mean you. I meant the other person, because I'm just that popular. I have like 2 friends at minimum, or 2 people I would wave at. So I think it's like probably a little better, like from a egotistical, self-serving standpoint, I guess. I'm gonna put it here. They're close together. Long/unfunny video. I think we've all been there. I know I have. And we're gonna make player 1 where you're showing somebody else a video you think is really funny, but and this applies to music as well. You're like showing somebody like music. You're thrusting it upon them. You're like, check this out, and there is no reaction. They might force it, but you can tell it's forced. And yeah, you're just like sitting there and you're like, oh, do I turn it off? It's like, oh wait, just wait, it gets better. Oh, it's brutal. It's brutal. I remember this because we were doing watch together, and I put something in the queue. And it's like, dude, this is the best video ever. It's my favorite video of all time. I don't know. I just got it. It's like Nirvana, the band, the show, update day. Update for the Wii Shop channel. I recommend you check out the video if you haven't seen it. I think it's really good. But I put it on in like the watch together while we're in TeamSpeak or something. Nobody enjoyed it. It was crickets. It was dead silent. And I'm just like, oh, I can't believe I felt like such a fool. And that stuck with me. So I think it's really bad. I don't know if it's as bad as calling a teacher mom, but at least I know it happened to me. This is like from lived experience. Okay. Long unfunny video player 2. So this is when somebody shows you the video, and you have a lot more agency in that situation because you can pretend to like it, or you can, you can lighten the mood, or you can play it off. You can comfort the other person. You have more control in that situation, but it's still pretty awkward. And it is a situation that you definitely want to escape. You want to get out of there as soon as possible. So I think I might put it in smooth off. So this next one, I cannot say that it ever happened to me. which is bone. Why is Courage JD in there? The yard just has a thing with Courage JD. It's just a running gag, but I don't know. One of the awkward situations. Boner in class. I've never had this happen to me. We've all been there, especially like we had school clothes, and one of them was like a zip up. That was a classic, and it would like with the zipper to get really wavy. And there was always the classics like, oh, you got a boner, when it's just the fold of the clothes. And it's like, nobody really cares. But I've never had this happen. Not only have I never had this happen, I don't think anybody's ever like pointed it out. Like, yo, this guy's hard. No, this has never happened. I think there might be like a code or something like that, which is why it never came to pass. Because it is, when you're like young, it just starts happening randomly. Just like for no reason at all. You're just like, boom. Yeah, that's how viral you are. How much virality you have. If it happened, that's endless haunting for sure. I could almost not think of something weirder, something more embarrassing. I mean, that's just, I think that's I'm noticing how much shame there is in natural body functions. But I think this is bad. I think this is really bad. The hallway dance. And this is not one that is, when I was looking at it, it's like, what is this? It is when you're head on approaching another person. You're trying to go the opposite way, but you try to evade each other, but you evade in the same direction. So you're like, and you keep going in the same direction. I think at some point it does get pretty awkward, but I think this is in the same. This is almost low-key a good thing, because if it's, regardless of if it's with somebody you know or a complete stranger, you're kind of like, you're sharing a moment, and it's like, wow, isn't this crazy? What? Look at us, we're so silly. What are the odds that we keep dodging in the same direction? So I think hallway dance is low-key a good thing. Which brings us to porn in browser history. I don't think this is there might be like a player 1. There should probably be a player 1 and a player 2 for this one as well. Like, somebody sees it in your browser history. This has never happened to me, really. At least in that form. Because I was smart enough to always use incognito mode. That's how I was raised. I don't know if I ever saw it in somebody else's browser history either. I'm not sure. What did happen though is kind of like part of my sexual awakening sort of is I got a Amazon or I don't know what is it called, a Fire? I don't know, like a Kindle. An e-reader from Amazon on which I would read books. And that's where I discovered smut, like reading smut. And the thing with that e-reader is it's like signed into an Amazon account, which was my dad's. And I would basically only read free books on it with like some exceptions. And there would be like excerpts or like a demo or like you could read the start of something. And that was usually enough for me. But unfortunately, if you were to buy something, it is one click. You click on the buy button instead of anything else, it's done. No confirmation message, nothing, no shopping cart. Click buy, you bought it. And every once in a while, instead of like reading the demo or just while browsing or something, I would accidentally buy some smut. And it would of course show up under my dad's Amazon account. And I'd be like, dude, I don't know how this happened. I don't know. It's like, I must have, I mean, it's true when I say that I misclick, but like, I totally thought I'm airproof, or like I'm like completely safe. It's very believable. But like, I wasn't fooling anyone. Looking back at it, it's so obvious. My dad did discover my history a few years back. No, damn, that is tough. That is tough. So how do this is pretty bad. Is it endless haunting? Maybe? Because it does stick with you. I think it probably is, yeah. Okay. Next one is in the same direction as the hallway dance, kind of. It's the grocery store linger, where there is something that you need in a grocery store or something you're looking for, but the relevant section is currently blocked by a person doing some browsing and some shopping as well. What does smooth off mean? You want your head taken off smoothly. Clean shot, clean cut. You want to die. That is a desirable alternative to the current awkward situation. So the grocery store linger, I think we've all experienced it. It doesn't even have to be grocery store. You're just like, you want something at a section, somebody else is currently there blocking the way, and you just have to like chill. And you're not gonna queue. You're not just gonna stand behind the person with your arms folded, waiting for them to do it. You're like standing adjacent, pretending to look at other stuff, or like checking your phone or anything like that. I'd put that in smooth often. I don't think about it anymore. Yeah, I guess I don't think about, you know what? I don't think about it either. It being brought up made me think about it again. So I guess we can put it in smooth off. I don't think it's bad because they don't know. Me personally, I do be noticing when people are like, when I'm blocking people's way, I'm just that perceptive. I'm just that much of a doormat and a people pleaser that I can sense that I'm inconveniencing someone. I'm like, oh, please, go ahead. Unless I'm in a rush. Is this stream for Pride Month? Yes. The final awkward situation is coming out as gay. I think this is no big deal. Nobody's really like, nobody feels super self-conscious, I don't think. Unless it was like something like I don't know, like the aisle for condoms or something like that. That's probably a good awkward situation as well, as like checking out condoms or something like that. Which I wouldn't know. So the grocery store linger, it's no big deal. Also, I'm reminded I need to gift memberships before the month passes, because I haven't done any yet, so get ready. NBD is no big deal.
A gift from me to you.
Yo! Wait, I thought Gabaga won. Boner in class discovered dry bones is cool as fuck. Why is that bad? Well, then you have to like explain that you like Mario instead of Call of Duty. Buying condoms on a grocery trip is bottom one. I wouldn't know, but I can imagine. All right, 5 more. It's high-key warm as heck in this.
A gift from me to you.
Sex scene in movie with parent is a low-key no big deal. All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Oh shit, that's Neptune. Isn't that only 4? Am I insane? There it is. Anywho, okay, sex scene during movie. I've not done that. Am I crazy? It's not. I guess my parents were always good movie pickers. They would never have something like that in a movie we watched together. Also, it's been a while since I've watched. I think the last time I watched a movie with my parents is when I tried to make them watch Moneyball, and they didn't understand anything. I think when you're at a suitable age and you're all in the know what it is, it's fine. A little Edo. I haven't. I don't know. I'd be quite uncomfortable. It'd be a day ruiner for sure. Grocery means you gotta have an equal experience for both Twitch chats. So you get, please give me 5 subs on here. I can't afford that. I mean, I can, but I don't wanna. It's gotta be a day ruiner at least, and it's worse than the wave. Happened literally an hour ago, though it was a series. I guess like nothing happened. I don't know. I have more shame. My sister and mom watched it on the living room TV, and no one batted an eye. What's the wave? The wave behind is when you're like waving at someone, and then somebody thinks you're waving at them, but you're actually waving at the person behind them. And then player 2 is like when, or we did it. Who gives a shit? I gives a shit. I guess I was raised with a lot of sexual shame. Okay. Sue my parents. Who's that Chud Zigzagoon in YouTube chat? I don't know. I think he's from Meter Mondays. Anyway, yeah, I'm putting it there. I don't think it could be a smooth off, I'll be honest. I think the older you get, the easier it is. But I don't know. Bad haircut. I don't know why this has 2 T's. Do you know that I was sleepy kid? I don't know. Some older girls laughed at me because I thought they were waving at me and I waved back and said, oh, that's evil. Them laugh, that is evil. That's a traumatic, I never wave ever again. That's a traumatic experience. That's formative in all the worst ways. That's bad. I don't ever remember being shamed like that. Bad haircut. Bad haircut. It's very rare, I think, that I leave the chair being like, I like my haircut. 90% of the time, at first, I was like, I'm gonna try to fix this. When they tell me anything else, I'm like, yeah, could you do this and this and this and this, and it usually only gets worse. And so what I've come to acceptance, and it's like, I guess it's just I don't like my hair short. I think it's hard for me to like my hair when it's short, but I do want to cut it short so I don't have to go to the hairdresser that often. And when I ask most people about the haircut, they're like, yeah, it looks good or it's fine or whatever, but I usually don't like it. I've just accepted that I'm gonna like it as soon as it grows in a little more. But it is sort of awkward. Like, you'd always, I think I'm selling it pretty well. We're like, yep, I love it. It's great. It's great. But I'm lying through my teeth. I usually almost never like it. But it's like necessary. I need to cut it to a certain length, and then in a month or so, it's gonna look the way I want it to. Long unfunny video. What is the Karn trying to love video doing here? Oh man. Oh, you just reminded me. That's when I was the player too. It was bad. I mean, it was worse almost because I'm on live television with several people watching. I think bad haircut it's probably a day ruiner. Player 1-2 is like the wave behind, for example. Player 2 in this case would be the person waving initially, and then somebody else thinks they're waving at them when you're actually waving at somebody else. So in like long unfunny video, player 1 is you're showing someone else a video you think is funny and they give no reaction. Player 2 is you're being shown the video, where it's like they think it's funny and they wanted to show it to you and you're like, I don't know. That was me during the stream, effectively. Okay, bad haircut. Day ruiner, I guess. Like, you still have to, like, I don't think I've had it horrible. I a few days ago I was driving, this was Thursday, and I didn't get across the traffic light because I slowed down unintentionally because I saw somebody with a haircut that I thought was so atrocious that I took time to notice it. I didn't look at the traffic light. I slowed down and I was like, oh shit, I'm not gonna make the traffic light, and I had to like wait. Being shown the videos like nobody does unfunny, so what? I'm sorry for them, but no. It's awkward. It's awkward. Being shown the video is way better than showing the video. I agree with that, but I still think it's bad. It's like, and it depends on the length. And you can like you can see somebody's soul leave their eyes when they do it. Slept into I missed the beginning of stream. Is there a reason why we're making this tier list? The Yard did it like a few weeks ago, and I put it on my list, and I was like, you know what? Today's Sunday. I wouldn't even stream, but this should be fun and short. Dead family member surprise. This is well, I had sex with your mother, and it's like, well, yeah, my mother's actually dead. I don't know if this ever happened to me. Cheese faked me out with this. Where I talked about having sex with his father, and he was like, my father's dead, and I was like, oh. And it's like, nah, I lied. He's not dead. I had secondhand embarrassment when you had to watch the 1 Macross 7 episode with the kid and Mylene. Lemniscate? It is. I love this song. It's such a banger. It's in the stream playlist. I added like a few songs myself. I didn't. It happened to me a month ago. Oh, I didn't make a joke. Oh, see, I think this one's pretty bad. I was like, well, what about your mother? My friend was like, do you know she's dead? Yeah, I do. This has got to be like smooth. This is either smooth off or endless haunting, I think. It's just, I just can't remember it really happening to me. I'm gonna say smooth off though. Move. Courage JD. Smooth off. Saying hi to a stranger. So this is when you mistake a stranger for somebody you know. And then you realize, wait, I don't know you. I'm saying hi to a stranger. This has definitely happened to me, but I can't really remember it happening. It was no big deal, but only because my friend was really chill about it. I could have been a day ruiner smooth off had I made a joke. Why you'd get embarrassment for that? It's less sudden and sad than embarrassment. I guess it's not an. It's like about awkwardness, right? I think it's quite awkward. Like it doesn't like. I feel like a lot of embarrassment is like kind of funny, but awkwardness can also be like very, very uncomfortable in a way that's like sad, right? I hardly think it's awkward though. I don't know. I don't know if you have had this happen or not. That's just me though. I think it's quite awkward. Okay, saying hi to a stranger. Whoa. I think there was a sub gifted, or my Twitch alerts are bugging out, but I didn't get an alert, which is weird. Saying hi to stranger. It's a good thing. I think it's no big deal. You're saying no. You're saying hi to a stranger because you think you know them. You mistake them for somebody you know, and then you realize, oh, I don't actually know you. Which I don't even think is a day ruiner, because at worst, that person's like, oh, ha, and it's really no big deal. Oh, okay, there it is. Oh, it was quite delayed. Lucas, thank you for the prime. Saying hi to a stranger is my absolute nightmare. Really? I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that bad. I think I'd probably put it in no big deal. I don't think it'd be a day ruiner. I think if you really, I don't know. I feel like there should be a separate tier between day ruiner and no big deal. Do you have any? I can be swayed on that. Do you have any suggestions for what to call it? The teeth gritter, where you do like a little. Okay, while we're working on that, forgetting someone's name. So this is like a person you know, you've met before, and this is a person that is like in front of you. It's not just like, oh, who's that celebrity or whatever. Heart crisping. What does that even mean? I think this one's pretty awkward. Where you're like, you have to like either pretend and just go along with it and not use their name, or you have to be like, well, what was your name again? I think you can diffuse that situation, but I think there's some unavoidable awkwardness. You can also get away with it, but you should at least feel bad for not remembering. I just say I have brain illness. I forgot one of the girls' names in my accommodation. I haven't asked in months. I still don't know her name. I mean, the thing is, sometimes it doesn't matter, right? If you're just like, oh, hi, how's it going? Yada, yada, yada. And you like barely interact. That happened to me last year. I I think if it's at a social event and you have like an actual interaction with the person and it becomes relevant, then I think it's like day ruiner. It can be no big deal if you get away with it and it's not like really essential. It kind of depends on how much you know the person. The more you know, the more you've met them, the worse it is. Fucked up the dap, white/white. So this is me as a white person fucking up a dap with another white person. And this has gotta be no big deal because it happens at like basketball all the time. Or happened at basketball all the time. It just, I don't know. It's just the sort of thing you like do the thing and then like maybe they go for the handshake. It's like, oh, that's pretty bad. But I think if you fuck up the like most dap fuck ups I have is just like you just like do the thing and it doesn't really make the noise. If they're going for a handshake and you go for a dap, that's like I don't even know if it's day ruiner. I don't even think it's a day ruiner. There are so yeah. It could be day ruiner or NBD. Fucked up the dap white black. Now I think about it, I must have fucked up a dap with a black person. But never to the like I don't even dab anyway, I just kind of nod. Yeah, you're germophobic. So this doesn't really apply to you. I guess it could be, because like somebody might go in for a dab and you might be like, I was talking to a classmate of mine. I was like, yeah, I'm really bad with names. She was, oh yeah, what's mine? That's crazy. They're an agent of chaos. They want to see the world burn. That's evil behavior. I've never fucked up a dab like that with someone who's black. But I don't know. It's probably worse than fucking up with a white person. I'm so bad with that, so I usually avoid doing it. I think I've told this story before. I met a classmate of mine when I was going back to my school for a play that I wanted to watch. Also somebody who was like, it was in the intermission because I saw them there, and I was like, when we walked out in the intermission, we're in this big auditorium. We're in like a big hallway. It's a pretty large room. He's like, also has the same name as me. We're both called Tom, and we dab. It is so loud. It was like an immaculate dab. You could hear it throughout the building. It was awesome. I quite like the dab because when it hits, oh man. I'm seeing smells but doesn't notice. Secondhand embarrassment I get from my gaming social. Yeah, that'd be the player 2 version of that. So I'm gonna just put this one a bit lower. I don't know. Is there messing up the handshake anywhere? Because like messing up the handshake, I've some handshakes that are eternal hauntings. But I don't think that's in there, so I should have probably added that. I can still add it later. Surprise snot during laugh. I've never really had this. I've definitely laughed so hard I pee myself, but it's been quite some time since that happened to me. I think it's like the what'll happen more often. I think there's like a bit in some sitcom. Surprise snot is low-key funny as fuck. Like the thing that'll happen is like hitting like the snoring sound, like a or something like that when you're laughing, and I think that's pretty embarrassing. I think that's something that's like more realistic to happen. I've never really like, or like I think when you have like water, when you're like currently drinking something and then this like you spit out the water, it comes through your nose. That's low-key a good thing. I think that's just like, it makes the situation funnier. Yeah, definitely. I think it'd only be like if you're like barely know the person, or like if you're watching a movie or something. But I don't know. I think it's endearing. I think it's good. It's low-key a good thing. Okay, so stinky but don't know it player 1 is you're the person that's being stinky. The thing is, am I too woke? No, but I feel like snot isn't funny. It's rather gross and disgusting. I think that's like partially to do with the germaphobe angle. Like if I got some of the snot on me, I might feel a little different. Stinky but like if the thing is, the only way you can know is if somebody points it out to you, which I legit, I must have been stinky at some point and not known it, right? That is I think is a deeply shameful. I've never really been called out on it, but I would be pretty mortified, I think. I'd feel quite bad. I was very self-conscious at UFA at the tournament because the venue was really warm, and there's also like the rep that the fighting game community and Smash players have, where it's like all the conventions, all the events are really stinky because they have terrible hygiene. When in reality, it was just super freaking warm in that building, and if you're in there for several hours, you're just kind of bound to get sweaty. But I was very self-conscious the entire time because I was like, oh god, how about I'm not smelly right now? Like, you could smell your clothes when you take them off at the end of the day. I guess, yeah. I don't really do that though. I'm only really like smelling my clothes as I'm like, am I good to put this back on again? Sometimes, and this is, I guess this could go in the same situation, is like you're wearing a gray shirt or something like that, and then later you look at it and you're like, oh my god, I have like a big sweat stain underneath my armpits. I think that kind of goes in the same direction. That doesn't necessarily even mean you had to have been smelly, but the thing is, you can hardly smell your own odor. Yeah, that's part of it. Then there's the thing with that also goes into it is like bad breath, which is like also almost impossible for you yourself to notice, which that must have definitely happened to me. I could have been a person in school who had perma bad breath because I like drank coffee in the lunch break. So I don't know. I do think this is like pretty bad. Yeah, put it over here. Stinky but don't know it is like somebody else is stinky. And in this situation, you have the choice to make, right? You can be like, do I tell this person? And do I like maybe change their life forever? Maybe I make them like a more hygienic person, or maybe they become self-conscious forever. And it's definitely going to be awkward telling them like, hey, pal, you smell at the moment. Or you can just be like, I'm not going to tell them. A lot of people don't scrub their tongue and it makes their breath smell bad. I don't scrub my tongue. It's like, that's like, I don't know. It seems like more like whale stuff. You guys ever see that? Where there's like a really large animal, a sea animal, and they like, it probably feels really good. I don't know. So I think this one's less awkward when somebody else is smelly. It is bad though. How bad is it? I think it's like with your toothbrush, it takes 5 seconds. I have an electric toothbrush. That would probably tickle me. Okay. Promposal denied. I don't think do we have any American viewers in chat? We don't really have prom the same. We didn't even, like, there was only really one dance, one opportunity to ask somebody, which I did, and I didn't get shot down. Which is just like, we had it like for PE, for sports, physical education class. We had like a semester or less where, you know, we had to get a dance partner, and I asked the girl, and she said yes, hooray. Prom sucks. There's a stale burger meat. Our like what was gonna be our prom was kind of like cut extremely short due to COVID. It was like a very, very small version of that. I didn't go to prom. Anyway, I think like the more grandiose you do it, because you've seen it like with like, I don't know, you could have a sign, you could have multiple people involved, you could, I don't know, you could rent a plane and have a banner on it. I think the more grandiose, the more awkward and embarrassing it is. I did get sort of publicly rejected. Like, I got rejected and people knew about it. But it was never really like a moment where it's like on display. It's not like in a hallway where I'm like, do you want to go to prom with me? And the person said no. So I don't know. I think it's probably pretty bad. It could be the sort of thing that sticks with you forever, but I've not experienced it, so I don't know. Probably put it over there. Calling somebody the wrong name. Huh, I've done that, yeah. I still think about that. When I was this was when I went to basketball. We had just like two really tall guys who looked pretty similar. And that's when I was very new. I called somebody like the name that I thought like the other person had. CarniVoreX got to take it good and not call his team name. Why does she not want me, man? That was separate, okay? That was years later, to be clear. I don't know, man. Getting rejected at one time messed me up for a long time. It probably still has. Anyway, to me, it's the follow-up to the forgotten name story. Oh, you just guessed somebody else's name. I guess I still think about it. It could be endless haunting. The worst version I know is that in a high school couple, I know the guy called the girl his ex's name during intercourse. That's gotta be like, so even I still remember that. Like, that's like the sort of thing where like, that's the sort of thing that sticks with you, you know? I went for it, what could I do? You could plead the fifth or something, but that's weak. That's horrendous. Sorry, I was zoned out. What? Calling someone the wrong name. There was there's a high school couple, and I heard that like the guy called the girl like his ex's name during sex. So he used like, instead of saying her name, like he said his ex's name, his former girlfriend's, and it's like that's got to be like the worst case scenario, kinda. Other than that, other than Ross using the wrong name at the altar during Friends. Smooth Off, it haunted me for a month. It's either Smooth Off or Endless Haunting. It's pretty bad, for sure. Okay, Caught Myron. You guys might even not read it as that. I had to think back for a second what it is. I've renamed this on the thumbnail to be Caught Staring. But Myron would be short for admiring somebody visually. It's just like you're looking at somebody. Either somebody you're like, ooh, this person's pretty. Or you're looking at somebody that looks like intriguing, like weird, and it's like you're like staring at them. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it depends. Because if you're looking at somebody and they get the impression that you're looking at them because they're beautiful, I think there's a good chance they take it well and would be flattered. I know that's how I would take it. But if they're made to feel like they're a freak or something like that, that's pretty bad. So, I don't know. I don't know. When I was on the way back, like I was taking the underground, the tube in London to go back to the airport. There's a woman in the car with me in the section that was beautiful. I was like, I definitely looked at her. I was like, wow, she's pretty. Your thumbnail face reminds me of that one Pink Pantheress image. Wait, which one? I'm very curious now. Also, this is a horrible song. But I think, like, when you're, like, looking at somebody you think is attractive, and they see you looking at them, if you're confident, if you're charismatic, if you're also beautiful, then I think it's flattering, and it's like, oh my god. Oh, how cute. It's like, ah, something like that, right? It's like the Louis people watching thing. If you've played Fire Emblem Engage, if you're familiar with Louis' like background, Louis I think gets away with it because he's charismatic, he's beautiful, and he's not self-conscious about it. So I don't know. I don't think it's bad. I think if you're looking at somebody who's like missing a leg or something like that, and you're staring at them and they notice it, it's like, oh, that's horrible. But if it's because someone's beautiful, then I think it's low-key a good thing. So yeah, it kind of depends on the situation, which is also the case for a lot of these. Sorry, I have several Discord pings. Also, I quite like the thumbnail. I think it's quite good. Oh, it's a banger. Happy birthday, wrong day. So this happened to me once because some MF had their birthday on Snapchat wrong, and then when I was still as Danganronpa music, there are 2 Danganronpa songs in the playlist. They have occasionally good music. But yeah. What songs? It's Beautiful Ruin and what's the other one? Love is Survival. Both of which I think are good. They're both from the second game, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Happy Birthday Wrong Day is something I still live in fear of. When I see like, I think it's somebody's birthday, I have to double and triple check so that I don't accidentally say it's their happy birthday, even if it's not their birthday. I think this one's, I always make sure to check. Yeah, you definitely came to mind, because I know we've had like probably multiple conversations where it's like, oh, I think it's this person's birthday. Like, are you sure? That sort of thing. See, so I need to know which Pink Pantheress image it is. It's important. It's not as bad as missing someone. I would say it's worse than missing someone's birthday. It depends on whose birthday you miss. I sent it to you. Oh, wait, that's good. That's good. I'm honestly so flattered. You're crazy. It depends on whose birthday you miss. It's like, you can always be like, oh shit, I forgot to say happy birthday, in my opinion. Or like you don't. And they're like, because if it's like my brother or something like that, I missed AKG's birthday by a day and I still feel like the worst piece of shit. When was that? Was it this year? If it's a day, you're like, oh shit, I forgot. It is what it is. I think this one's pretty bad. This one, is it Smooth Off? Yeah, I think it's Smooth Off. Tripping. Okay, it's just like tripping. It doesn't even have to be in front of someone. The more people see it, the more awkward and embarrassing it is. But even if you're just like tripping all by your lonesome, I feel awkward. It's like, oh god, I'm so clumsy. I'm such a girl fail. You know, that sort of thing. Also, fun fact, this was on our like high school trip, like our post-graduation trip. We were getting water. We're at a center park. And a friend of mine tripped and fell, and is like, well, it's not important because no one's gonna remember it. It's like, there's a very good idea, a good way to look at an awkward situation where it's like, no one's even gonna think of it like after today. It stuck with me forever, which is probably what, like, just because they said it. When I trip, everyone just thinks, wow, iconic slurp moment. Yeah, you can own it, which sort of applies to all of these things, right? You can just own the moment and take power over it. Is tripping it depends on how bad you trip. I think tripping could be up to a day ruiner, no more. It's NBD. It can be kind of funny. Yeah, I can put it in NBD. Okay, silent friendlies. A lot of people here are fighting game players. I've never really had the silent friendly IRL. Not that I can remember, because I just haven't played that many friendlies IRL. But it's like you're playing a fighting game or a versus game with a friend, and nobody's saying anything. You're just like sitting there. It's like you're suspecting. You either know you're having a bad time, you're in a bad mood, and you're not talking, or you're suspecting the other person has that going on, or maybe you both have it going on. This has definitely happened to me a bunch, and it's not pleasant. I do not like it at all. I mean, I'm like hypersensitive to these sort of things. I've been doing 9 matches in Bison where I won like 37-2. Did it? It's definitely happened multiple times with us. I know that much. But isn't that goated though? Like Remega? No, it's not really. At the social. Oh, okay. It can, if you're just like stupidly locked in, but that's usually not the point of friendlies, right? Usually it's like having fun, and I think you're kind of like killing the social aspect of it. I think social silent friendlies are definitely a day ruiner, for me at least. It also depends on how it ends. But if it's just like completely silent, and then you're just like, yeah, I think that's gonna be my last one. And then you're just like, I was like, okay, GG's. Ugh. I love the moment I'm locked in with friends. I mean, if it's just being locked in, but I think that's usually not the. I'm not like that, at least. I feel like I'm always talking. So yeah, I'd put it at day ruiner. Traffic, go ahead, no you. This is the hallway dance, but with cars, where somebody gives you the right of way, but you're like, no, you go ahead. I don't think this is super awkward. It is quite infuriating. Because if somebody gives you the right of way, and they like wave you through, and this happens a lot, do not wave them back, because then you create the stalemate. You're just like, thank you, and you go. I have an anecdote on that I will not share. Okay, that's crazy. You don't even drive. It's not a day. I think it's no big deal, but I think it's quite annoying. It's like, I don't know. I don't like it. Homie yells at his mom. I was the one walking. Okay, I guess yeah, that can happen as well, right? You can have it with a pedestrian and somebody in a car. I've legitimately never had a friend of mine yell at their mom. Not that I remember, anyway. I think everybody whose house I've ever been to was like too well raised. They had too much respect for their parents, or for their mother in particular, which I think is good. That would be I think if it happened, I think it'd be pretty bad. Somebody yelling at their mother? Dude, that's... I don't know. That's pretty crazy. I did when I was like 11 to 14. Like, you had a friend that was yelling at their mother, or you were yelling at your mother? I think that's probably a smooth off. Probably somewhere here. Oh, it's also... the Armored Core song, it's chill. I was, but never in front of friends, though, not that I remember. Okay, well, this is like particularly... I've yelled at my mom, but never in front of anyone. Caught talking shit. So this... when I was watching the video, when I watched the Yard Boys do it, it didn't come to mind. But I remember... when I looked at it on the tier list again, this happened to me at school, where it was like during a break where nobody's really supposed to be inside at school, and we were like walking into a building, and there was like a staircase in that room, a large staircase, and I was talking shit about someone at like indoor level but audible, and that person was at the top of the staircase, out of view. And they're like, oh my god, or whatever. That was... I was like, oh shit. That was a person I feel bad in retrospect, because that was a person who was not well liked in a class at all. They definitely got bullied. Which is like... You could always try like to justify it in retrospect. It's like they had it coming. But still, at the end of the day, I think it's like, looking back, it was cruel. I mean, it stuck with me, but it's nothing where I'm like really... I'm not up thinking about it. It's like being like, oh, how could I? That's mostly because I guess I didn't like that person. I never liked that person, so I didn't feel particularly bad. If it was somebody I cared about, somebody I liked, where I bring up something bad about them, and they find out about it, then I'd feel really bad. Which, I don't know. I don't think that's really happened. Not that I know of, anyway. So I'll put it at like day ruiner. Couple fighting. I mean, you could put your you could definitely put your parents with that as well. They're a couple, or I mean, they were at some point. So you or you're just like next to a couple that's fighting. Yeah, my parents. Maybe my parents have definitely fought. I'm trying to. Oh no, I've also had it happen with friends. Where you're like friends with both of the people that are in the couple. It's pretty bad, but it's probably not. It's probably just a day ruiner. I don't think it's like horrific. When I was little, it was bad enough that 8-year-old me saw the breakup coming. Damn, I'm sorry, man. That's rough. I'll put it at day ruiner. I've never had like a. I mean, it also depends on the severity of the fight, right? I've never had a fight that was like super duper bad. Bad tattoo. So like the bad haircut but permanent. Can't say that this has happened to me. I don't have any tattoos. But I have to imagine this is endless haunting because you have it forever, or at least smooth off. They still kind of fight now, but now I'm just pissed about it because they act like children. Oh, man, it sucks. I don't know. My parents have pretty much stopped fighting. At least I don't really hear them, or I didn't notice them doing it ever. So bad tattoo, can't relate, thankfully, but I'd probably put it. It's got to be smooth off or endless haunting. I'm down to put it in endless haunting. Saw porn in browser history, never happened to me, but I did see my dad's browser history gooning out, typing it straight into Google. Is crazy. I mean, that if there was a player 2 version of that, is my chat broken? Oh, because I'm in top chat. Oops. I wonder how many messages just didn't go in. Yeah. That'd be. That's also got to be kind of awkward. Sex overheard. This isn't awkward. It's just annoying. This has not happened to me. I would feel at least a little awkward. It's gotta be a day ruiner at least. Either if you're either party, I feel like. I mean, like if it's your parents involved in either direction, like if they overhear you or the other way around, that might be endless haunting. So I think it depends on who's involved. I'd probably go day ruiner. It's honestly not. It's gotta be worse than sex scene. Somewhere there. Night ruiner? Yeah, I guess. Okay, new Discord discovered. This is like... This can also be maybe more relatable as new group chat. Depends. You have like a Discord with friends, but there's like somebody in it or maybe multiple people in it that you think are annoying. So you just, you know, instead of dealing with it and telling that, like kicking a person out or telling them that they're annoying, you just make a new Discord or you make a new group chat or something like that. And then the person you kept away from that Discord finds out about it. This has never happened to me, really. Which makes me think that I may have been left in the dust at some point that way. Hold on, I'm changing my shit. Go. Also choosing the one being rejected and the one rejecting. I think, yeah. Okay, no, this, whatever. This is pretty bad. This is pretty bad. It's definitely like a betrayal, and I mean, it depends on how close you are to the person. But yeah, I think smooth off is fair. It could be endless haunting. I think it's worse than calling someone the wrong name. Okay. Oh wait, we do have fucked up the handshake. Fart in public, smelly, quiet. So with this one, there's like You forgot the shirt? The shirt is only for music, Sharkfinator. Anyway, hello. With this one, there's plausible... You can get away with it, right? Unless sometimes there's, like, no alternative. But at the end of the day, you still have it on your conscience. You still know what you did, even if the other people can't nail it on you. You have to be like, ooh, I did it. It's definitely awkward, especially if it's, like, horrendous and it gets several reactions even. Like, oh, what is that? Was that horror? Oh, did somebody fart? It's like, oh, uh-oh. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. So, it's gotta be a day ruiner at least. Could be smooth off? I don't know. Fucked up the handshake. There's still handshakes that haunt me. Especially when I was like, there's one where the dap hadn't, I didn't know about the dap yet, and I went in for a handshake, and they went in for a dap, and it's like, what is this? What are we doing? And it was really, really awkward. And I still think about it to this day. Messing up the handshake is, at least for me, I think it's quite bad. I don't know. I have some handshakes that stuck with me with how bad they were. Because it seems so straightforward, right? It's such a simple thing. Like, how do you mess that up? I think the ones that stuck with me is the ones where I messed it up. So I think, yeah, it's Endless Haunting. Elbow touches boob. I don't think I've ever had this happen to me. At least I don't recall it. Where I'm just like, I was up in somebody's personal space or something. Elbow touches boob is a bit awkward. So you just say sorry and you're good? No. I think it depends on what age it is. If you're like teenagers in school and the other person like freaks out about it and starts like high-pitched screaming, then it's like, oh shit. That's so specific. I mean, this might be like an American school experience because I didn't have this. Maybe I just never sat close enough to... That's not true. Anyway, who does that? I don't like pubescent girls, I guess. I think as you age, it's probably just like no big deal. I don't know. And maybe if I had lived through it, I might feel differently. With the elbow, yeah, it makes sense because you're like, maybe you're like moving or like you're riding next to somebody or eating or something like that. I think it's like fairly, that's like the, realistically, if it's an accident, the elbow is almost the most likely thing for it to occur. Because like, if it's with your hands, what are you doing? Like, you must be like, I don't know, you're trying to hit someone or something like that, or you turn around or something. Yeah, that's like movie or cartoon stuff. I don't think it really happens. Toilet clog. So this is really only if you're not, I think mostly if you're not at home. If you're somewhere else and you manage to clog the toilet. I'm trying to think if I ever clogged the toilet somewhere that is not at home. I don't think I have. And at home, yeah, I've had some bad toilet clogging experiences. I've had that John flood. Oh god, no, it's happened. I guess I've been blessed with either taking small shits in strangers' bathrooms or them just having like broad toilets. Oh my god, kill me, Endless Haunting. If it's like a public restroom or something, it's like, oh, you gotta get a a plunger or something like that. Yeah, I can imagine. I had forgotten about it. Oh my god. Dude, let's move on. I kind of want to hear the story though. I'm a bit curious. That weak pee stream and small. No, I do. No. I drop big poops. Trust. I used to be chronically constipated. I'd be dropping some huge ones at times, but it's not about the toilet cloak. It's so it's so much worse. Now I kind of need to know. Is this endless haunting? This might be smooth off. that bad, huh? That bad. Ooh, card decline on date. I've never had my card decline. But on the last I once shit myself at school and had to ride the bus home with it in my pants. Oh, I must have worked on my abs somehow. Every time I'm laughing now, I immediately feel it in my stomach. That's crazy. That's crazy. I've never had my card decline, but it was endless haunting. It was at the... We were like... When... My brain legit blacked it out. Yeah, you'd be surprised how much stuff your brain will suppress. So I've never had a card decline. I never had it happen on a date, but when we went on vacation, something that'd be pretty common because I had enough money in my bank account usually, is I would bankroll everything when we were out on vacation, and then people would pay me back. So when there's like a meal, it would be paid for with my card. When there's like, we were getting like subway tickets, like for the train station, stuff like that, I'd pay with my card, gas, stuff like that. And then they'd just pay me back. Mostly because I had the money, but also I have tap to pay, I have it on my smartwatch and stuff like that. It's just easy for me, it's convenient. And then also you're stuck doing the math. But when we were driving back, the last part of the trip, and back then I didn't know you could go 100 into the negative, because otherwise I could have ran it. But we were getting gas on the way back from Croatia. And it was like, yo, okay, let's pay for this gas. And I was looking at my bank account, and I had to tell my friend, like, dude, I can't pay for it. My card is gonna decline. Somebody else has to pay it. And I think that's fine because, I don't know, I'd been paying for everything during that trip. So the money runs out, what can you do? Card decline. Oh yeah! Wait, no, that's I had my card decline when I was in the UK. That's true. I was in London trying to pick up the rental car. They hit me with a bunch of surprise charges, like, oh, you gotta have, there's a young driver's fee because you're not 25. And it's like, oh my god. And it was so expensive, and I had to pay like a deposit as well. And like the card declines. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to call my dad. It's not on a date, but that was pretty bad. I hated that. Imagine if you're like with someone and it's like nothing in the hundreds. It's like a meal. It totals to like $60 and your card declines. Yeah, I don't know. That would be pretty bad. That could be endless. That could be endless haunting or smooth off. It's pretty bad. Loud fart in public. I've definitely done this, but I can't remember a specific one. I mean, this one, there's no denying it. All you can do is play it off and be like, oops. Or like, I don't know. You gotta own it, and that's hard. Not something I could do. I think I'd just be mortified. Yeah, that might be smooth off. Definitely day ruiner. Was that Thunder's classic dad tag? What is with dads and farting so loud? Like, how do they do it? Like my dad has farted so loud that it woke me up from like 2 rooms over. It kind of depends on how much shame you have as a person. It's probably got to be smooth off, I think. So, okay, now we're getting into the ones that I added myself. Number 1, simultaneous typing. This is for me only really a thing that came along with Discord, a Discord stable, where you're having a text conversation with someone, you're replying, but it also shows you they're typing. So this is also like the hallway dance. And you're like, you stop typing, and they stop typing, and you're like, you wait a bit, you start typing again, they start typing again, and then, oh, it's horrible. And I've teched this with every single person. Basically everyone, everybody knows that I'm going to yield. I think I have an unwritten agreement with everyone I know that when we're both typing, I'm gonna stop typing and they're gonna go first. Except for one person, which is Firefish, with whom it still happens. Because she is just as polite as I am. She is just as much as a people pleaser. I don't care about it that if you stop typing, I'm gonna continue. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. Some people just don't give a gaff. They were both bottoms. Yeah, it is. It is. I'm a social bottom in that situation. And it works with most people now because it's been established. One person even pointed it out to me. It's like whenever we're both typing, you always stop and let me go first. I hate it. I hate it. Is it a day ruiner? Yeah, maybe there should be something in between NBD and day ruiner. Nah, it's like no big deal. But I do hate it. I do hate it. It is. Okay, I added this. I think we brought it up again recently, which is the self-conscious walk, which only really happened to me in school. Self-conscious walk is literally how I walk every day. That sounds horrible. It's just not very a distinct thing, but I remember in school several times I would be like, how do I walk? How do I am I doing, do I look weird? Am I doing this right? I would never walk without thinking about that's horrible. that's really bad. This is something that doesn't, unless you somehow visually convey it, which I don't know how you would even do that. Like you start walking extremely slowly or like tripping over yourself. This is only awkward for you and nobody else. Nobody else would even notice. It is just all in your head. I was so focused playing Pokemon Go, I got called out on my weird walk in public. Damn. It's alright, yeah, it's a bit annoying because sometimes I don't walk straight and I'm like, how do I walk again? This only really happens if I'm forced to walk really slowly when I'm going somewhere with my grandma. So it's not a day ruiner. It just sucks. It's like NBD. And this is in the same... This is something that happened to me more recent than the self-conscious walk. Is what do I do with my hands? You're just standing somewhere. You don't have your phone in your hands. I know, rare occasion. And you're like, what do I do? Do I put them in my pockets? Do I have pockets? Do I fold my arms? Do I just put them there? This also happens a lot when I'm posing for a picture or something. Hand on hips or cross my go-to low-key on the hips is comfortable. Yeah, this is that's some real diva. This is like the sassy trait or whatever from Tomodachi. That's kind of sending a message. I don't know. I mean, it is girl boss shit. Don't get me wrong. I think this is on the same level as self-conscious walk. I don't know how to pose for a pic. I'm extremely awkward. I literally every video or photo I take goes in smooth off. Maybe that should have been the category I added, which is posing for a photo, because I don't like it either. What do I do with my face? It's easier when I take thumbnails, like the thumbnail you're seeing for this stream or you saw for this stream. Several takes, of course. If I can see how I look, it's a lot easier. Even then, it's still not great. But not knowing what I look like, it's like, how do I smile? I'm extremely talented at not being in photos. You should be on more photos. Because every once in a while the time comes around where you need a photo for something. And you're like, oh shit, I don't have any good photos of myself. Bro's a vampire? That only works with like camera. No, there's mirrorless cameras, so that wouldn't apply for vampires. Yeah, it's like the same as self-conscious walk. Walking in on sex. I think maybe the most common trope and probably the worst one is with your parents. I've never had that with my parents. I did kind of walk in on my brother and his girlfriend. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't like, because if it was, that's endless haunting. That would be endless haunting. But it was like, was it a smooth off? It could have been a smooth off. Could have been a day ruiner. I'm very thankful I've not experienced this one. I think it depends. I think immediate family is probably the worst. If it happened, I blacked it out. Thank you, brain. It's gotta be smooth off at least. It's gotta be smooth off at least. And it could be way more severe. Okay, this is the inverse, this is something I've seen way more commonly, which is friend gets yelled at by parents. I didn't see it, but I did hear it in my old house. Yeah, we have the, where is it? Sex overheard category for that. Friend gets yelled at by parent is pretty bad, because you're just like standing there like, someone's getting chewed out and you're just like, never happened, something worse happened instead. But you got some stories, man. We gotta hear it. I still remember it to this day. Maybe I should have had you on. This should have been a collab. And somebody could air out all their embarrassing shit for other people's entertainment and my personal benefit. I think it would have been good. Friend gets yelled at by parent it's gotta be a day ruiner. I don't think there's an instance that I'm like haunted by. It's not that bad. Bet you've done all of these? Nope. I have not. When you're at your white friend's house and he starts stabbing his parents. It's probably a day ruiner. It's kind of like couple fighting. Is it worse? Yeah, maybe. Okay. These are so vulgar. How are they vulgar? Oh, because it has the F word. I'm sorry. I wasn't talking to you player 2 and I wasn't talking to you player 1. So this is like the wave, but verbally, basically. And it happened a good amount for me, but even more for my classmate. As I mentioned earlier, I had somebody in my class who has the same name as I do. And somebody would be like, hey, Tom. And I'd be like, yeah, what's up? It's like, I was talking to the other one. And it's like, oh my god, that sucks. I wasn't talking to you as smooth off, but I would never say that to someone ever. Also, you did that to me. Wait, when was that? If I did it to you, it's probably deliberate. Wait, this happens to me, like, the player 2 version happens to me all the time when I think I'm being addressed because I'm the streamer and I'm the center of the universe and they were actually talking to somebody else. Yeah, it's pretty, it could be a day ruiner, and maybe it's no big deal. But yeah, thankfully I was usually, it happened for the other Tom more than it happened for me, I think, but it still sucked. Let's put it in day. I've awakened. Hello, Crimson Blazes. When did I do that to you, Gaba? What's the situation? I'm curious. Okay, now I wasn't talking to you as somebody else wrongfully feels addressed. And it's like, oh, you have to be like, oh, sorry, actually. Or you can do what Gaba said and be like, oh, actually, I was talking to somebody else. Or like, no, lie and be like, oh yes, I was talking to you. I think you were asking Seesaw if her dad liked Star Wars movie, but the question was asked in. Oh, that was recent. That was very recent. The Mandalorian movie? No, it was established that you hadn't seen it, right? Unless you had. So you could not have possibly been addressed. But at the same time... No, didn't I say did he like it? Anyway, that was that. I think I could have went along with it, but I don't really think I did anything wrong in that situation. Which I guess, I mean, you kind of get to own someone there, which you can either delight in or feel bad about. I think it's no big deal. It probably exited my brain immediately, and it stuck with Gabon, which is funny. So yeah, it's like no big deal. I didn't feel awkward, and I just thought about it now. Yeah, it's. Is it a day ruiner? I guess maybe it's no big deal actually. And I think that brings us, or me, to the end of my list. Let's get the full thing over here. Anyway, people in the comments, I'm definitely gonna edit this at some point. For sure. I need to rewind the stream to see the boner. This is based on somebody else. This is somebody else's tier list that I added some stuff to. The boner in class thing did not happen to me. Nor do I think it happened to anyone that I knew. At least I wasn't there for it. But I don't know. Please do watch the whole stream, actually. I need it. Anyhow, gamers. That does it for me today. Bit of a shorter one. I'm kind of like on the wave that I don't want to stream on Sundays at all anymore. You're that good at hiding it, huh? Make it that... Yeah, I guess I was. I guess I was just goated. Or nobody would ever point it out, because that would be kind of crazy. Anywho, yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll probably see you tomorrow.